and we are not going to put anything on it because I just want to do a quick video to talk to you about the palettes that I used last week. So we're going to rank those. Now I have 6 palettes, but I only have 5 slots because I used 2 of the palettes together. You're used to it by now, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. In number 5, we have the Hollywood Flawless Eye Filter Luxury Palette by Darling Charlotte Tilbury. And here it is. Now this is one of her quads. I have, I think, 3 of her quads and 1 of her larger palettes. I like this palette. I feel like it is very easy to use, very simple, especially if you're the kind of person that just wants to be able to kind of throw something together. I think this palette is really easy to do that. I find that the shades wear very well. This will give you a very nice, like, natural, kind of soft, glam, everyday sort of look. So I think this would be good for the office if you're going into the office, but very much like an everyday work palette. I like that it has the black in here because you can really smoke out any look that you do and make it a little bit more sultry. Now, I really do enjoy Charlotte Tilbury's products. I like them especially when they're on sale. That makes them even better to me. What I use the most from her are her Flawless Setting Powder as well as the setting spray. I really want to be able to find a foundation from her that works well. I have tried her matte foundation, but the undertones are just really orange, so they don't quite work for me. But if she were able to get those undertones right, I would certainly do a full face of Charlotte Tilbury. So that is number 5. Number 4 is a palette and brand that are new to me. That is from Menagerie Cosmetics, the Sugar High Pressed Pigment and Eyeshadow Palette. Here it is. This is just so pretty. Like, the moment I saw it, I think I saw it on Instagram, and I was like, I have to have that in my hands. Now, this palette has 12 shades, and 6 of them are matte and 6 are shimmer or metallic, and these shades are just so pretty. Ugh, look at that. They're just so super duper pretty. They are easy to use. I also find that they're very pigmented. That's one of the mattes, which I really appreciate, especially on my deeper skin tone. Now, the reason it's at number 4 is because you pretty much will just get one type of look with this. You're going to get something bright and punchy, which I am fine with and I really enjoy. Now, I know most people are wearing like deeper colors and like more like darker hues right now in the season that we're in. So some people might not get as much use out of this if you tend to wear things kind of according to seasons, because I feel like this really gives off a like spring, summer kind of vibe, just with the brightness of the colors. But I really liked the look that I did with this. This was really easy to use and I felt like a mermaid. Okay, number 3 is one of my homegirls. I'll let you guess, like, which one is it? Because, you know, I have, like, 2 main homegirls. Go ahead, guess. Okay, it's Natasha Denona, and it is her My Dream palette. I feel like several people said that they were using this palette over the past couple weeks, and I was like, I should pull that palette out and use it as well. So this week I used this shade Vision, which is like a multi-chrome. It's so creamy, so pretty. And I paired it with some of the mattes and cream to powders in this palette. I have, I like this palette. It's a solid palette. I think this color story is also really good for deeper skin tones. I find that all the shades show up on me well. They wear well, kind of the quintessential Natasha Denona formula. yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about it. I like that you can do a variety of looks with this palette. I think you can do something really easy and simple. As a matter of fact, I think I did like 6 looks with this palette for a video, so you can go check that out. I definitely used some of the neutral shades and did like some everyday work kind of looks, but then I also did some more fun looks, as they said in Legally Blonde, funner. And those were cute too. I like that this is a palette that works on my skin tone, and I just really am feeling the shades. I'm here for it. Okay, so that was number 3. So top 2, you're gonna be super surprised by one of them and not surprised by the other. The one you're not gonna be surprised by is from another of my homegirls, my second homegirl, really my first. Go ahead and guess. Guess who it is. Yes, you're right. It is Pat McGrath. I used her Mothership palette, the Divine Rose 1, and I really liked the look that I did with this palette. I think I used like these 2 shades, and they are just so, like, come on, they're so pretty. Look at that. They're so pretty. You can see some, like, staining from the Sugar High palette, but that's just going to wash off really easily with soap and water. Now, initially, I didn't get this palette. I got the Divine Rose 2 first. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like Divine Rose 1. It's like super neutral. There's some cool tones in there. I was like, this is kind of boring. But when I got this palette and started using it, oh, this palette just makes me feel pretty. Rosé? This palette just makes me feel really pretty every time I use it. I love the like rosy tones. Pat McGrath loves herself a pink, and I'm here for it because I love me a pink as well. I did a look with this with like 2 or 3 shades, and I found that it was just so easy. Every time, this is another brand, every time I use the palettes, I'm like, oh, I remember that I love this. Rosé, what are you doing? So, I really enjoyed using this. I actually like her shimmers. I like them a bit more than like her special shades. I feel like her special shades are sometimes a little chunky and I get like fallout all over my face, and that part is not fun. But I really, really liked the look that I had this day that I used this palette. So that is number 2. So then number 1 is actually 2 palettes. And the 2 palettes that make up my number 1 slot for this week are the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 3 and the Cozzette Crystal Cream Shadow Palette. So let me show you these. Here is the Danessa Myricks, and here is the Cozzette. So you can see, I think these just go together so well. They're both very similar in formula. I know I've done some swatches of both of these, even comparing the 2 palettes, but the shade that I used this week is this one here, Martian. All of these shades are just so pretty and so just boom, pow, in your face. In your face. Look at that. I just swiped this, swiped, swope, sweeped, swiped, swiped. I swiped, swope. I put it on my eye. Okay, shut up. Swiped, I swiped it, swiped. Yeah, I did that on my eye. And then I went in with this blue here as a liner. Oh, look at that, y'all. I just feel like those two go together so well. And the one thing that I did differently with the Danessa Myricks palette this time around using it is that I used one of her matte Color Fix as a base. I took a tiny amount of it. I used the Creme Brulee shade, which is sort of like a neutral pink. I used a tiny amount of it, put it on my eye, and then I swooped the shade over it. I think it's swiped, y'all. I don't know, okay? Leave me alone. And then I went in and I used just like a small liner brush to use the Crystal Cream Shadow from Cozzette as a liner. Now, I'm kind of surprised that those are at the top, but I think they're at the top because of the way I use them this time. Before, when I've used them, sometimes there's been some creasing. The base that you use for the shadows is really going to be the thing that either makes it pow and look amazing or make it look like you have like crinkled paper on your eyes. So that's my tip from like me to you. Make sure you have a good base for your cream shadows. Now that is it. This coming week is a bit of a shorter week for work, but I will still make sure to highlight whatever palettes I use. Let me know what palettes you used this week. Let me know if you have any of these palettes that I mentioned and if you have used them recently. Hopefully some of this was helpful. I hope that you're taking care of yourself. I hope that you are not experiencing the back pain that I am right now. I'm getting older and I have big boobs. Anyways, so thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time.